right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. It's magazine night tonight, so we're going to do BMX action. This is going to be August 1983. Now, here's the bummer. I don't have the cover for this one, but I know on the cover of this one, which I'll probably insert, obviously, before the video begins, it's got Harry Larry power wheeling out of, it looks like turn one in Miami in one of those epic ESPN races, which we're going to look at here in a minute. And I have a lot of ESPN race footage on my previous videos that's definitely worth checking out. So I'm looking forward to getting into this one. I looked at some stats for 1983. So Risky Business was actually the #1 movie in 1983. And then Vacation was sitting #2. Now, Risky Business had grossed $63.5 million at the box office, which I was actually kind of surprised about. Vacation was #2 at $61.4 million. That's an epic movie. Me and my cousin Bobby snuck into that movie because we were too young to go to a rated R movie. Top 3 songs: Every Breath You Take by The Police, and then Sweet Dreams by the Eurythmics. That's actually one of my mom's favorite songs, believe it or not. Maniac by Michael Sembello. And then as far as TV is concerned, Dallas, 60 Minutes, and Dynasty. Those were the top movies, our top TV shows in 1983. And like I said, Harry Larry's on the cover. This magazine is going to be pretty awesome. We'll get into it and get into the details of it. It's a really fragile magazine, so I'm going to try to be careful with it, but I'll see you guys in there. All right, guys, let's get into it. Now, this one is cool from the certain standpoint that I actually remember this magazine really, really well. I had this magazine for the longest time. It's probably one of the more earlier BMX action magazines that I owned. And the thing about this magazine, it was because it was one of my few that I actually owned. I had probably looked at it a million times. So this being my cousin's video, when I pulled it out, I noticed there was no cover, and I started thumbing through it, and I go, oh man, this looks really familiar. This is going to be a good magazine. All right, let's get started. So this is the inside page. The cover's missing, obviously. We got the Haro ad. These pants just came out, and I actually got these pants probably the following Christmas. So it was probably, you know what? It was probably December '84, I believe, when I got these. And I raced with these pants for, well, I don't know, probably 2 years, maybe longer. I think I wore these race pants for 4 or 5 years, actually. They just fit, and they were great. And you know what? I told this story before, and it's kind of a bummer. Because I sold my house in the Bay Area and I was making my move to the Valley, out where I live now, and my house was being built, so I had to box all my things. And a lot of my things came, but some of my things disappeared, and one of the things that disappeared was I had a box that just had race stuff in it. So it had all my old race pants in it, race jerseys, and event t-shirts from different races that I had gone to. And it wasn't until, I'm telling you guys, I was probably in that new house for maybe 2 years, and I just sat down one day and go, where's all my race stuff at? And then it just dawned on me, oh my gosh, I never got it back. And it was like, I had the Haro pants in there, I had 2 different pairs of 09s in there, not to mention all these different race jerseys I had, all the t-shirts. Kind of a bummer. It is what it is, though. You know, it's not like I could fit it in anymore. Haro flow panels, one of my favorite. And then this is a great shot of Greg Hill right here. So Greg being one of my favorite racers of all time. All right, now look at this, guys. Now, first of all, you can see the wrinkles. So obviously this magazine got wet at one point in time. So it's really, really fragile. It's got some tears in it. So we're going to go really, really slow with it. We got this epic ad here with RL, Arm Wrestling Stu. And look how big Stu is. You know, he would make me look like a wimp. That's pretty cool. And then we got the Redline Carrera 2, complete with Redline Flight, crank, Sun Tour pedals, Cashmex Aero seat, Chrome Molly C-post, Chrome Molly frame and fork, of course the Chrome Molly V-line handlebars, Stu Thompson's handlebars. Very, very awesome bike. I never was a huge fan of V-line handlebars, although I owned a pair of them. But out of the box, this is a pro-level bike, no problem. You can take it as far as you could take it, as long as you can fit on it. For me, being short, I could fit on it all day long, so that's a really, really nice bike. Let's go to the next page. Oh, look at the Vector ad. Jumping over the Magnum PI Ferrari. That's a really cool ad. I don't know who the writer is in that one. Does it say anywhere in here? It does not. Oh, no. Whoever that is, that's a rad shot, though. All right, let's go to the next one. We got the editorial here by Bob Osborne, which obviously I'm not going to read, but he's talking about amateurs, dictators, and corporation. This is probably a really, really good read, and I just don't have time to do it right now. We got the Deer Whiz, and look at this, Kenny Haas, heavy duty wheelie dude. Now, this guy, they would love him today. I mean, since wheelies are the thing. Let's read this. It says Wheelie Records. Dear Whiz, I've wheelied 10 and 3/4 miles. It took approximately 1.5 hours. I don't have any witnesses, but I will wheelie in a one-on-one competition with anyone, and that's Kenny Haas from La Habra, California. That is really cool. He went 10 miles doing a wheelie. A 10-mile bike ride is long enough, but to do it doing a wheelie the entire time, super impressed on that, Kenny. Let's see. This one says True Love, Dear Whiz. Every time a new issue of BMXA comes out, my younger sister finds some guy in it she falls in love with and just won't stop talking about it. And you know how dumb that can get? So please, next time you take any photos of guys 16 and over, please make sure they have their shirts on, especially Clint Miller. And that was from Wendy Lenham out of Brisbane, Australia. Let's see what he said. You know, Wendy, I have the very same problem with my kid RL when he finds my penthouse. Oh, jeez. I keep writing in them about making the girls wear shirts, but they haven't done anything yet. Anyway, whatever you do, do not let your sister find this issue of BMXA. It has, if she sees Rob Fade, it's all over. You'll never hear the end of it, Oz. That's so cool. Really cool. We got the Superstar ad, Super Lions. These, I don't know. I've never used these. I never really cared for that look. I don't think I'd put stars on my grips. But the pads look kind of cool, kind of different. And here's the pedals, MKS Graphite X. These, my cousin Eric is the only person I ever known, God rest her soul, that had these pedals. But you know what? They were plastic and your feet didn't slip. Go figure. You look at these pedals, you would think, oh, those are probably horrible, but I don't remember him having any issues with them, and they seem to have lasted forever. All right, let's keep moving. Got the Johar ad here, and then I'm not going to read this one. This is a little bit long. We got the OP ad, pretty classic looking. I love the way it all melts. That's really cool. Look at the background, all green. That's really nice. Let's keep going. Oh, here's another Dear Whiz. This is a short one. Dear Whiz, how fast is greased owl poop? A little faster than greased moose poop, but not as fast as a speeding bullet of Roadrunner at full toot. Oh my goodness. What kind of name is Dunsham Hoder? And that was Dunsham Hoder out of Culver City, California wrote that. ABA number plate rule. Let's read this one. Dear Whiz, we think it's stupid that you have to use black numbers on white plates. Okay, I'm going to stop right there for a second. I got in trouble. I was at the Summer Nationals in 1993, and I was running a black Haro flow panel with white Haro numbers. You can see it clear as day, and the announcer yelled at me in the middle of a race and told me to get rid of the plate. And of course, I just finished the day with the plate. But anyway, let's read this. We think it's stupid that you have to use black numbers on white plates. We don't see why why the ABA couldn't just have dark colors on light colors or vice versa. And it's anonymous from Berlin, Connecticut, so he didn't sign it. And here's what Oz says. I have a theory about that, anonymous. You know how the ABA uses the transfer system of racing, which most people don't like, but which requires only one scorekeeper, right? Well, maybe the poor devil's colorblind. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Let's read one more, guys. Girls shouldn't ride BMX bikes. Oh, boy, things have changed now, right? I'm a normal average 14-year-old girl who has a BMX bike. Everyone laughs when I ride it and calls me a boy. I don't appreciate it. I would like your opinion on the situation. That's from Kelly Gustafson out of North Platte, Nebraska. Let's see what he says. Kelly, it is stupid. It is a stupid fact of life that anytime a person does anything that causes them to stand out from the crowd, that the person is going to catch a lot of flack from certain people who will always be part of the crowd because they are too timid to venture out on themselves and are resentful of those who do. Tell them to stick it in their ear. Oz, beautifully. Well said, Oz. I love that. All right, let's keep on going. Looks like somebody made a word search, sent it over to BMXA. Got your classic Greg Hill Zap Pad ad, which led me to buy Zap Pads. And we got Scorpion BMX here and Star Bar. It's kind of funny. This is Greg's dad stuff, and Greg's over here. So pretty cool. Let's keep going. Oh, wow. Check this out. So we got Pat Romano right here. And this was probably a commercial that he did. And let's read about that. Oh, I'm going to have to find this commercial and put it in the video. If you see this smiling mug in a mug root beer commercial on the boob tube, it's our own Squidly Squadron rookie Pat Romano. You can rest assured that Pat is racking up mega bucks on residuals. He gets $250 every time it shows, and it's on several networks nationally. Jeez. By the way, have you heard of the mug wump bird? It sits on the fence with its mug on one side and its wump on the other. Oh, for God's sakes. But anyway, that's pretty cool. I mean, $250 every time that commercial aired, and I actually remember the commercial. So definitely I'm going to look for that one, and we'll add it to my next race video because I'm always trying to add commercials and stuff like that to it. The OM has soon, and what does it say? The OM, how soon till we know how old he really is? He's not really that old, guys. Here's Eric Roop a few years back from 1983. And then we got the Susie. How do you say this, guys? I always said Susie, but I don't think that's right. It says, is it Suzu? Someone tell me what it is. Look at the Boss ad. That's really cool. Racing frames that take charge. Now, Boss didn't put a whole lot in their advertising, but it didn't really matter because their products spoke for themselves. The 1983 factory Boss team was Frank Post, which was the AA Pro, Russell Jackson, racing 17 expert, Dean Lucia, 17 to 21 cruiser, Kent Elliott was racing 15 expert, and I believe that's Sherry Elliott's brother, if I'm correct. That's pretty cool. Let's keep on going. Oh, I love this Robinson ad. We've seen this one before. We got trackside over here. And look at this. This is Oz Desks just before deadline. There are the color shots from one of the races. Maybe 2 will be published in BMXA. This doesn't even include the black and whites. Wow. So those are the odds, guys. So look at, this is probably 1,000 photos. So they're only going to use a few of them are going to actually make it to the magazine. So that tells you if you got into this magazine, that was an epic feat, to get into the magazine. That's why I love the fact that we have social media and, we can utilize that to display with the things that we can do. I mean, it's really awesome that anybody can go on social media and put up their own photos, their own videos, and they get a bunch of likes and follows, and it's just the way of the future. But back then, we had to wait for this magazine and hope that we can see a photo of ourselves in a race. I went to a few nationals. I never even got caught in the background. But it doesn't matter. It was still an awesome experience. Oh, here we go. Light up the heavy traffic. So light up the heavy traffic. Now, I really love this ad. This is awesome. It looks like they're flying over the freeway in what I'm assuming would be Los Angeles based on all this smog. We got Harry Larry over here. And what I've always admired about this ad is the chrome backing on the Haro number plates. I've never ever seen this in person, and I wonder if this is actually something that was mass produced, because that's really sick. I love it. And we got the Haro Turbo Light kit here, and the Turbo Light cranks, and then of course here's your factory team for Diamond. I don't know why I said Haro, guys. Diamondback. I'm sorry. And this is your factory Diamondback team right here, #1 team in 1982, and they got the Nora Cup. All right, let's go. Here we go. All right, the Miami Pictorial. Now, these are great races because most of these, as I mentioned, were on ESPN. So when these came on, it was a matter of timing it so I can catch it and watch it, and most importantly, try to videotape it. And, I think my dad had given me 1 or 2 old videotapes, and I would fill it up with races and movies that I wanted to watch and cartoons that I wanted to rewatch and just stuff like that. And this was one of the main things that I would definitely want to watch. And I would try to record them. Sometimes I would catch it at the very end, and I would still rewatch it over and over and over again because it was just the only thing we had. We didn't have YouTube, so we had to depend on recordings. So first berm, B Pro Action. Eddie King is out of there with Rob Fade and Marietta in Code 3 Pursuit. So we got Marietta here on Factory Torquer. And have you guys seen the new Torquers? The retro ones. Whew, beautifully done. Rob Fade here on Factory GT. And then Eddie King's about to check out here on his Diamondback Turbo. Really sick picture. Love it. Oh, yeah. Brent Patterson. Brent Patterson is on a brutal training program. Add that to the years at the top, and you got what is happening more and more lately. first in Pro Cruiser, second behind Eric Group and A Pro Money. So that was Brent's day. That's awesome. That's a great shot. It's weird how he's kind of like, looks like he's gonna loop out or crash right here, but they didn't say he did, so I'm assuming he made that stick. We got Doug Davis right here. And then this is a great shot here of Stu. It says, you do not want to step in front of the particular, sorry, I get so tongue-tied when I try to read BMX action magazines. I do not know why. You do not want to step in front of this particular freight train. Mighty Stu looking rather determined. 4th overall in Buck, so he came in 4th. Looks like that's Sewell right here on this right side, and I would guess that's Brent back here, and I can't identify this one here. Look at Steve Veltman. That is a great shot. And it's Spider-Man Veltman after a short end of season slump is fully back on it. That's a great shot of Steve right there. We got heavy braking into the first turn. Turbo Harry Larry, master of the front caliber. One of the only guys to run front brakes was Harry Larry. And then, of course, we looked at Doug Davis. These are all great shots. Here's another one of Brent right here in the Pro Cruiser class. Got the Hank and Frank sticker right here. I love it. And oh, look at this one. This is a great shot right here. We got Study and Styles, Mike Solito and Daryl Young, hauling buns over Kendall's first roller jump. Love this one. Love this one. Now, Mike Solito's a little bit older than I am, and he is from, I want to say, Hayward, California. And I'm telling you guys, every time somebody would see me out riding my Skyway or in talking about BMX in general, the first thing they'd come out of their mouth is, do you know Mike Solito? It was like I had lived in this guy's shadow and I didn't even know who he was. We never met. But a lot of people would say, do you know Mike Solito? I had to answer that question so many times. I'm like, I've heard of him. I've never met him. I never tried to pretend I knew him, but I was like, I heard it a lot. Let's put it that way. We've got a great shot here of Scott Clark and Clint Miller. And then right here, it is going to be the 17 expert class. First jump, Nelson Chanity. Gets pumped defending his home turf, finishing second in 17 expert and third in open. Sandwiched between a lot of muscle is Francisco Lorenzo, one of the Puerto Ricans to come to the U.S. for this race. On the right, one of the original Missouri Outlaws, Paul Gassar. I can't pronounce it. Gusra. If you're going to mess with someone at a BMX race, maybe it's someone other than Gusra. He's built like a brass fire plug. That's awesome. Great shots. Great shots. All right, let's take a look at the results really quick here. So A Pro, Eric Roop wins A Pro. Brent Patterson picked up second, and Brian Patterson picked up third. So good day for the Patterson brothers. Stu Thompson with the 4th, and Tinker Juarez with the 5th. Clint Miller 6th. Kevin Jackson with the 7th, and then Scott Clark rounded it up on 8th place there. Pro Cruiser, Brent Patterson won that one. So Brent had a great day. Anthony Sewell with the 2nd, Mickey Lundy with the 3rd, Toby Henderson 4th, Eric Group 5th, Jeff Botema with the 6th, Scott Clark 7th, and then Dave Marietti. And then Pro Trophy, so you figure this is going to be the Open. Brian Patterson grabbed that one, Kevin Jackson and Rod Beckering. B Pro, Eddie King won B Pro with Mickey Lundy finishing 2nd and Rob Fate 3rd. Great results. Look at Gary Ellis with 17 expert, so he won 17X with Nelson Chanity and Tim Judge right behind him. Malin Abrams won 16 expert with Daryl Young and Chris Williams, and 15 expert was J.G. Goranzik, Miguel Neveas, and Steve Gibson. Let's stop right there, otherwise I'm going to run out of gas trying to read all those, but that's really cool. All right, let's go to the next page. Ooh, we got more great shots. Still in the Miami pictorial here. We got Charlie Williams. This is a great shot of Charlie right here. And then it looks like Brackens sprained his wrist at the Pompano race 2 days before Miami on the first jump. Esser sprained his at the same race in the same place, one month. R&R for both of them. Oh, wow. They both hurt their wrists in the same jump, same race. That's crazy. And then right here we got Mickey Lundy sitting here. Who's the pro neck rider? And that looks like Gary Hasselhorst. And then Lundy's comment after the race, I just didn't want to get sent over the berm, B Pro class. Look at, he reached out and he grabbed him. Check this out. I didn't even notice that. Look where his hand is. He was trying to prevent himself from getting sent over the berm. You know, BMX racing happens in a split second, so the fact that he could let go, reach out, and grab, that's pretty epic. We got the GJS frame and fork here. And then we got a little secret concentration and control. It's Rich Farside and Jolie. You can see he's pulling even with him here. He catches him here at the top of the jump, and because Farside stays down, he's going to pass him. You can see where right here Jolie's catching a little bit of air, and where Farside's keeping the power down. So he got him right there. That's a great shot. Great shot. Okay, let's keep on moving here. Oh, the profile ad that just never gets old. We've seen this many times. Favorite cranks I think I've ever owned are those profiles. Next to the Redline Flights, you can't go wrong with either of those. And then we've got the Predator by Schwinn, probably one of the most common neighborhood bikes. I didn't see a lot of Schwinn Predators at BMX races. I just didn't, but I saw them all over my neighborhood. I know that kids race these. I mean, it's very raceable, but again, it was something I didn't see a lot of at a track. Oh, the Oakley B1Bs, the first motocross guidance system. Look at this ad. So Oakley is a massive company. Oakley doesn't play around, and you can tell by this ad. This whole ad is based on a grip and a grip only, and look how much effort they put into this. And I had these grips at least once or twice. So yeah, great ad. Love it. Sometimes I just like to admire the detail of what these companies would do to bring their product out. And this is just a really great shot, and you got to appreciate that. Oh, the Hutch Pro Star, probably one of the best and baddest stock bikes you can buy back then. And we got Toby Henderson going. It says Toby going for the big dive down the back wall. That's a great shot of Toby. And then you got RL right here getting busy. Based on, is this it? I wonder if he's actually on Toby's bike or if this was the test bike. I don't think it was the test bike. Because check it out. Well, maybe this is the test bike, because you can see Toby's got chrome wheels on his and the test bike had black wheels. But this seat post and seat looks like that belongs to RL himself. So he probably swapped it out to give himself a little bit more space. That's my guess, because that's definitely not stock. Oh, there it is. That's what it looks. So he took the ACS seat off and he put on his own seat and seat post on. So that makes sense. So this is your complete bike right here. That is just a piece of artwork. There's nothing about this bike, as I've said many times, that I would probably change. The ACS seat, not a big fan, but everything else is just beautifully well done. But if you notice the shortness of the top tube, and then the stem's not extending out very far, so if you're a taller guy, you might have a little bit of issues with that, but that was just how we rolled in the 80s. There wasn't a lot of options there. Great hubs. You can see the fork and the dropouts right here in the fork. Oh, wow. This is just super awesome. Hutch Pro Star. Wow. Let's take a look if it shows. Oh, wow. Look at this one. You got Toby getting in there, getting sideways. Looks like he's in some mud. That's definitely Toby's personal ride right there. And then you got RL. No, that's Buff. So it was Buff, not RL. Let's see, that's Buff on the Hutch, demonstrating classic bunny hopping style, and that's Giberson in the chair. Wow, look how close he came to his face. You do not want to catch a pair of Hutch pedals to the face. I mean, look at these pedals, man. Did you really want to catch that to the face? I don't think so, man. I'll take your nose off. All right, let's keep on going. Got an interview here. At the time, Toby was 21 years old in El Toro, California. He was ranked National Number 2 Pro Cruiser, National Number 7 Pro, sponsored by Hutch, obviously. Co-sponsors with Bell, JT, Haro, Oakley, Pro Guard, which was those weird chain covers, and then Seika, whatever Seika was. He was rocking a Bell BMX 3 helmet, which was probably super heavy. And of course, all the JT gear, Oakley goggles, and of course the Hutch Pro jersey. Great shot. That stem is very stubby looking. Don't like it, but I love the headset. That's really cool. The Mega Pro locks. That looks familiar. You know what? Isn't that like what they use for cars nowadays? Something similar to that. The Mega Lock. Wow. Look how it mounts to the bottom of to the inside of your frame. That's really cool. I don't know how useful that would be, but or who used it, but man, we've all had bikes stolen, so not a horrible idea. Better than carrying a chain around, I suppose. All right, let's see what the stats were on this bike. So the complete bike was $795 in 1983. So that's $800, guys. So from today's standards, you figure that's about a $2,000 race bike. So it's a big commitment. You better be a serious racer if you're going to invest in something like that. And I can tell you right now, I did not see a lot of Hutch Pro Stars on the track. I've seen a lot of Hutches that people built up, but as far as seeing somebody buy the full bike complete like that, not very many. So that's definitely a niche market because of the expense of it all, but very, very cool. Rockville BMX catalog with Stu on there. And then, oh, a Souza Huffy NBL War of the Stars 6. And then we got here on this shot, Wild Eyed Crazy 14 Open Garzas, number 87 for Redline, Dugout Doug, number 1. He was on Diamondback. Both of them were in the front of Richie Anderson, which should give you some idea of how fast they're going. I can't even see Richie in the photo, so he must be right here, I'm assuming, unless he's tucked over here. I can't tell, but that's a pretty good shot. Danny Steplight, Flashes in Greatness and 13 Expert. Looks like factory CW there. And look at Eddie King, 1B Pro. I never, that's crazy. He's wearing a black Simpson helmet, and I only ever remember him in a white Simpson helmet. Wow, that's strange. I mean, I know it's not a big deal to most of you guys, but I just only remember him in a white one. And Danny Nelson was only an 8 expert at the time. So I was 13 years old at this time, and he was 8 years old. So we were all just kids, man. Kids on bikes. Oh, this is epic. I have this race somewhere on my channel. I remember because I remember seeing the starting gate. But this is such a great shot. All the top pros that you can think of are on the gate here. Toby Henderson's right here. Let me just read it. So it's Brent number 6, Brian number 4. Patterson's starting styles are almost identical. Wow, how they come out of the gate, identical. Comes from long hours of practicing, starts together. Brent won A-Pro money, Pro Cruiser at Azusa. That makes 3 of 4 impressive wins almost in a row. Could it be that Brent has the 1980 cast iron Psych back? That's when he won the Nora Cup and the National Number 1 Pro Plate, which added up to a total nomination for that year. So Brent was on fire at the time. I believe that would be Turnell Henry. That's my best guess, and that looks like Clint Miller, and then that would be, oh my gosh, I just said his name a second ago. I'm going to come back to that one, and that looks like Scott Clark. I can't identify this guy, and then, of course, Toby Henderson. So that's really great shot. All right, let's move on. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, look at this shot. We got Gary Ellis on it. Is he on a cruiser? Holy moly. Thought this was Ellis, didn't you? Yes, I did think that was Ellis, but it's not. It's Troy Daniels kicking booty in 1824 cruiser. Gary and Troy are traveling buddies. Both are from Washington. Both are on Kuwahara. Man, I made the mistake. I thought that was Gary. Great race shot right here. Pro Award. Eddie King is leading right here. Killing it. And we got Richie Anderson on a cruiser down here. And then here's your, oh, look at the side hacks. Very cool. And then here's your actual track. Pretty awesome starting hill. You're going straight down with almost no first jump. So you can imagine by the time these guys get here to the first roller, they're probably flying. Because look at, there's absolutely nothing standing in their way from cranking and pedaling. You got a roller here. You're going to crank around this first turn here over a tabletop, through your second turn, which looks like it's kind of ruddy, and then back across over a speed jump here, and then your next turn here over a step jump, back up over the hill, over the bridge. And again, once you're over the step jump, nothing standing in your way but totally pedaling to the finish line. So that's a big difference between today's races or today's tracks and yesterday's tracks, because you can imagine you would have nothing but a rhythm section going all the way to the finish line, and here it's just straight pedal. So let's just count it. We got 1, 2, 3, only 4 obstacles on the entire track, and most of it's just straight pedaling. That's pretty crazy. A-Pro, let's see who won that. So in Azusa, Brent Patterson won it. Rod Beckering. Okay, let's go back, guys. I feel stupid. Okay, hold on a second. That's Rod Beckering. Rest in peace. Sorry, Rod. Okay, so Rod Beckering, Mike Miranda picked up 3rd, Tommy Brackens with the 4th, Frank Post with 5th, Toby Henderson 6th, Bob Madrano 7th, and then Brian Patterson picked it up with the 8th. Pro Cruiser, Brent Patterson. Ooh, Brent doubled. Matt Harris Tinker Warris, Frank Post, Toby Henderson, Turnell Henry, ooh, I nailed that, Rob Fade, and Ron Wilkinson. Pro Award, Eddie King won the Open. Bobby Woods picked up second, and Donnie Atherton. Nice. B Pro, Sean Texas won B Pro. Lee Medlin and Rob Fade. Now, Sean Texas, I just saw a video that Dale Holmes put on Facebook, and he was doing gate practice, and he was next to Sean, and Sean pulled him to the first turn, and Sean Texas is 60 years old. Now, I mean, let's face it. I mean, Dale Holmes is he's up there too, but he's not 60, and that just tells you how badass that Sean Texas still is. Pretty awesome. Oh, here's a great shot. I love this one. This is kind of epic. It looks like that's Toby Henderson, Brent Patterson, Rob Fade, Stu Thompson, and then Greg's doing some reporting. Put up $10,000 to the Pro Cruiser. Oh my gosh. Put up a $10,000 Pro Cruiser purse like the Murray NBL World Cup in June, and you got everybody's attention, like in addition to Fade, Toby, Brent, and who have ruled the cruiser racing so far this year. Cruiser rookies Stu Thompson and Greg Hill. In this photo, Greg is interviewing with the top contenders for the purse, which included himself, for BMX Action magazine. Very, very awesome. Great picture, by the way, too. Love it. All right, let's keep on going here, guys. 1,000-yard stare, Ruminier, Leary, and Brian Patterson. Very cool. Very cool. Got some random cows there. Let's keep on moving. Oh, look at the Tough Neck ad. I love it with the giant tiger right there. Tough Neck. Got the laid-back seat post with the brace, straight rig, another laid-back seat post. Doesn't have the extreme angle on it, and then, of course, the straight seat post. There you go. You got your chain rings and so forth. The Amy ad. Oh, I love this one. Look how it's standing on the grips. Now, taking a look at this for just a second, we were commenting on how Oakley's ad looked for their grips versus now we're looking at Amy. Now, there's nothing wrong with this ad. I think this is a great ad, but you can see the level of professionalism between the two companies, because really Oakley is a motocross company with millions, and Amy is a bicycle manufacturer parts. But I love Amy grips, but let's face it, they probably sold a whole lot more Amy's than Oakley's, at least in my opinion, because I've seen these all over the damn place. All right, let's keep on going. Oh, check it out, front wheel hops. And this is, it looks like RL on his, I believe he's on a red line. Yeah, he's on a red line. So you can see he's got himself in an endo position right here. One little hop and back down. Now, I know it doesn't seem like much, but that looks really, really cool. And this is just the beginning of all the freestyle things that are going to come down the road. And I love his bike, by the way, with the graphite tough wheels. It looks awesome. All right, let's keep on going. We got a Vans ad right here. Kind of crazy artwork on that one. And then the Dominant Force GT. Gotta love this one, man. That looks great. That Chanity, Fade, and then, of course, Greg Hill right here. And I think that's Jeff Schofield without reading. That's a great, great shot. And you got some riders here on the ground trying to get to the top. Love that. That's a really great ad. Speak of the devil. Well built, the #1 machine from Grid Up. Here's your GT. This bike is very, very solid. Very solid from the ground up. There's no 3-piece cranks on it, but other than that, it's just a great build. And again, it's got kind of the stubby little stem, but we wouldn't have really looked at that twice back then. Notice how the handlebars are kind of like going forward instead of back, because I mean, this is how we rode. And it's weird because I know my handlebars were in that position a lot. And I look back at that and I go, how the hell did I ride like that? But it's just how we did it. Here's your perfect setup right here. Frame, fork, stem, seat post. That would have been an awesome start to build a bike right now and back then as well. Let's keep on going. Oh, Shinko Group. We'll come back to that. But look at this ad for 09. Wow. You got you got Brent Patterson, Brian Patterson, and of course Richie Anderson. All factory Patterson. This is just a great shot. Making history, factory 09. And then I've never seen these guys, I'm getting tongue-tied, I'm getting tired. I've never seen these tires anywhere. I don't know if anybody used them, but there was a lot of knockoff tires back then. Sometimes if you just didn't have the money for a pair of Comp 3s, you just took the closest thing to them, and a lot of times I would get knockoff tires. Now the problem with getting tires that were not the highest quality is Yeah, you can buy them a little bit cheaper, but they just didn't last. I mean, you would wear them out because remember, we spent a lot of time riding on the pavement, and so that would wear out the tires really, really fast. And then here's your Rob Fade thing they were talking about. Somebody put a happy face on his six pack right here. I'm gonna have to talk to my cousin about that. That's hella funny. But look at this dude shredded, man. This is a great shot. All right, let's keep on going here. More shots of Rob, and I believe this is GT's personal little gym that they had set up. And he's just doing his workout right here, talking about his workouts. You can see Greg Hill back here stretching his knee out because I think he was overcoming an injury right there. These little dips are torture. I remember doing this in PE in high school. All right, let's keep on going, guys. We're getting towards the back end of this magazine, and we are at 34 minutes. So let's wrap this up. We got the Torker ad here. This is a great shot. Love this one. Very, very cool. Ooh, ripped page. Oh, this is a nice ad. Haro Pro, the aerodynamic way to a better something. Oh, the aerodynamic way to be better. I read that wrong. This is a nice little bike. It's kind of got the Skyway look to it with the way it's got the tubing like this, but other than that, I think it's a pretty solid bike. I love the seat on it, by the way. Let's keep on going. Oh, look at that shot at Billy Griggs. Now, I heard Billy on the Dirty Knobs podcast, and they commented about the collar under the shirt. They commented about that, and he mentioned that he was at a race. I guess it got cold, and the only shirt that he had to put underneath his jersey happened to be like a golf shirt. So he put it underneath his shirt just to keep himself warm. And I guess somebody had commented, I don't know what girl commented, but some gal had commented and said, you should do that all the time. That looks really cool. And that's why he started doing that look. I can't believe I remembered that story. Here's a great, great ad with RL advertising the flight pads with the checkers. Great shot. And then we got the NBL Grand National ad here for 1983. $6,000 for A Pro, $4,000 for Pro Cruiser, $3,000 for B Pro, and $2,000 if you win Pro Trophy. So pretty good payday. If you can triple, it's worth 12 grand. I love it. And then we got Team Cycle interview with Doug Davis. Wow, this is a great shot of Doug. Look at the kids. Gotta love that, man. Like all the pads on his this is really cool, the way they did all the co-sponsor pads on the jerseys and uniforms. That looked really, really cool. At the time, he was born in 1969, 5'11", 156 pounds, El Cajon, California. That's pretty cool. And so he was going to, it says he was in the 8th grade. Wow, he does not look like an 8th grader to me. He was in the 8th grade? You gotta be kidding me. I guess I'd be right. I was in the 7th grade at the time. It said favorite movie in the past was E.T. He said I cried, laughed, and everything. That was a great movie. Favorite video game? I don't like video games. Wow. Favorite TV show was the Mr. T and the A-Team, and the absolute favorite thing when I don't have to worry about school or homework and just get to relax for the entire day. That's really cool. All right, let's keep on going. I don't want to read too much. Oh, this is a great ad. Mongoose Pro Class. I've always loved these rims with those with the holes pierced in them like that. I think that looked really, really cool. Awesome, awesome ad. This is Mongoose went all out, as you can see. Great. I think that's Bobby Woods up there too. Great tuck. Nice, nice picture. Let's go over and we got this Hutch ad here. Whole factory Hutch team right here. We've seen this one before and all their products that they had out at the time. Man, I'd love to have that bag. That's really cool. Look at the big hair on the model. There's the infamous pedals right there. That's very, very cool. And then we got our Thun ad here with the one-piece cranks. Sun Tour pedals, as I mentioned many times, one of my favorite pedals here. And we got some Shimano DXs, which are very iconic pedals. I still have pedals similar to this on my GHP, believe it or not. And then, oh, nice ad with the Haro. Look at that. Comp 2s on it. That bike is sick. Love it. That black against the chrome. Man, that is just a great shot. And we're getting close, guys. We got posters here that we've looked at before. The complete book of freestyling here. And then, of course, the Harry Larry ad with Diacom. And that is it. We did it, guys. BMX Action, August 1983 is in the books. That was a great one, guys. It took me 38 minutes. Holy moly. This was actually a pretty big magazine, and I tried to go as fast as I could. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. As always, like and subscribe. The channel is growing. We're doing it. We're doing it. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. We'll be doing a race video next week, and have a great weekend.
I got it. At first it was hard. Nobody believed me. Ever since then, I'm making it clear. This my year. This my year. I hustle in the dark with a bright my head. Get the bright idea.